This is the Fuente Osmeña Rotonda. This is one of the landmarks of Cebu City. So whenever you come here, you have to make sure that you pass by the circle here in Fuente Osmeña. This is located right in the middle of the central Cebu City. So from here, you will be taken to the different routes of the city. So as we go out from here, that's Park Raja Hotel, and that's Robinson's Puente over there, and then I will take you walking towards Capitol. See how dangerous it is to cross here. Are kalo ko loyo be. I told him to go on my back, so I'll be the one crossing. Because it's a roundabout, it's hard to cross. You gotta wait for a chance like this. Go, Dora. So that's the Raja Park Hotel around here. Then the Cinco Centrum. It's better to see this in daylight because you can see it clearly. What's the improvement here around Puente Osmeña? So for those familiar around here, because I know most foreigners that's been here has been around this area. So I know I have filmed this at night. Now you've seen this in the daytime. So you see there, that's the Robinson's Cybergate Cebu. That's the new mall of Robinson's. They have another one, the main one. And now they have the big one in Galleria. So this is McDonald's here. And from the Rotonda that you see there on Puente, if you go straight on this road, that will take you to our Provincial Capitol building that has been there since the 1900s. So there's the garbage collecting here on the rush hours. Gotta cover up because it really stinks. So you still see the old familiar road that most Cebuanos is familiar with. The best thing about the roads here, they have proper pathways. Since it's the central of Cebu City, they have to provide proper pathways for the pedestrians to walk onto. That's the old acacia trees that line up this street during the 1900s. Some of the old trees has already been cut off. Also housed here is our National Library, which you can see across the road. That is our Library Museum of Cebu City. The Memorial Library and Museum. I'd like to try if we are allowed to go in there, but that will be worth Cebu City Museum looking at. So this is your walk, and this one here will take you to the Capitol. And this is also a landmark here is the Cebu Doctors Hospital. So that's the Rizal Memorial Library and Museum. I don't think it's open, but we'll just have a try, because as of the moment they close it because of the pandemic. So they have proper pathways, like I said. I can safely walk here, unlike the roads in Colon that you'll be forced to go in the middle of the street. So you got all these young lads on my front. The Rain Tree Mall is still here. That's an old commercial center of here in Capitol. Since this is on the way to Capitol, we call this area the Capitol Road. The locals usually call this the Capitol Road. But actually, this is part of Osmeña Boulevard. From the Capitol right down to Colon. That's Osmeña Boulevard. Or, no, before it's Jones Avenue. Then it's changed to Osmeña Boulevard in honor for the late Sirio Osmeña. So look, the sidewalk here before are full of vendors, but the government has been clearing them out. But they seem to be struggling to do that in the downtown areas. They do clean it up, but the vendors themselves are the one that's really hard-headed. When there is no task force people, they'll go back and vlog and sell their stuff and just get ready to run away. So another prominent structure here is this church. It's Cebu Gospel Church. And of course, right next door to it is now the landmark here is Cebu Doctors Hospital. This is the main Cebu Doctors Hospital. So they are fumigating the hospital building. So we are still in the vicinity of Cebu Doctors. So when you're talking about Capitol building, they also talk about that's near Cebu Doctors Hospital. And even if they talk about Cebu Doctors Hospital, they know that it's near the Capitol building. So all my brothers and sisters that's been here, and also the foreigners that's been here, I think you're familiar with the scene. So there's somebody having a nap there. They're not actually allowed to do that, but it seems like one of those taong grasa, you know, the one that lost their ways, that just roam around the city. So there's a Jollibee near here now. I think it's been here for a while. I'm not just able to notice this. So I am now nearer to the Capitol building. And another woman here that's just living on the sidewalk with her baby there. And her husband there. This is the Aniseta building. It's been also an old building here that's for rent of 4 offices. So that's better. We got a proper sidewalk going here and also on the other side. So you don't feel like you're in danger like I do when I walk around downtown. That's why I keep looking back if somebody is following me, or looking down for the hole of any manhole that I will suddenly disappear because I fell over. So you know, here it's not too bad. So up ahead you can see our Capitol building. There's another someone that lost his way. So I'm gonna have a quick tour of the Capitol building itself. This is our Cebu City Capitol. This building has been part of the Cebuano history because they are not allowing people to come here. This is our Cebu City Capitol. This building has been part of the Cebuano history because they are not allowing people to come here. So after I have sorted out the guard, now I'm allowed to film back. So this is our Capitol building, and this is a big part of the history of us Cebuanos, and everyone that come to Cebu will never miss the Capitol building. As you can see, this is a very prominent structure that you will see towards Fuente Osmeña. So around here, history has been built. Around here, history has been made. Commonwealth government was also housed here during the American times. As you can see, what's written here on the walls of Capitol are the rebuilt with the aid of the people of United States of America under the Philippine Rehabilitation Act of 1946. But actually, this building dates back to this was built first in Plaza Independencia, it says there, under the Filipino Revolution of 1898, and also the American military in 1899. This edifice has been built by the government for the city under the architectural design of Juan Arellano in December 1936. And it was inaugurated by our President Manuel Quezon on June 14, 1938. And now this was declared as a public historical landmark July 9, 2008. So you can still see the landmarks of the Commonwealth government during the times of the Americans here on the grounds of Capitol. And around here on the gardens, you can see Moba. So he said that it's quite prohibited down there. Only this part of the garden is allowed. So we just, no choice. Yours truly will just follow what it is. So this is the statue of our President Sergio Osmeña. This is where Fuente Osmeña, the first president from Cebu City, and that is where Fuente Osmeña is named after, in honor of him. So it's called Fuente Osmeña. So he had his famous saying here, we cannot leave it to our posterity the legacy of a life without difficulties and struggles. And if we do, we will develop a weak and impotent nation unfit to survive by its own strength and courage. That's Sergio Osmeña Sr., our first Cebuano president in the Philippines. And that's why we have named this whole street that you're looking at here straight on to Colon as Osmeña Boulevard, from its old name, which is Jones Avenue. So unfortunately, even though this is declared as a public building 2008 that anyone can go in, they are not allowing me to roam around freely like it was before. So this is what I can do. So this is the Osmeña Boulevard Road, straight on to Colon, straight to Fuente. You can see the Tower of Fuente, the Fountain Tower of Fuente from here. And that's the Capitol building. When I continue on my Cebu at War series, I will be showing you again the grounds of Capitol and its prominence in the war history. I'm gonna get down here on the stairs and have a shot from the distance. So I am now leaving from the Capitol. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to roam around the gardens. Beside that is being declared as a public structure, and the public is able to go there freely to see its history. And I'm walking back. You can see some people sleeping on the streets, which is very unfortunate, really. Again, on this side they have pathways that you can walk safely, although not really paved properly, but at least not too bad. So there's an old building here, Pill Pharmaceutical Incorporated. You still see the odd street vendors once in a while, like her. But when there's the task force cleanup, they'll just run away. So it's quite pleasant to just once in a while to be able to walk on a pathway that you're not looking up if you're gonna get sideswept by vehicles. So there's a Korean meat shop restaurant that's quite popular with the locals. Oh, because it's a shabu-shabu. You know, where you cook your meat in a thing, like you got a pot of cookery pot boiling in the front, the shabu-shabu way. MG cars. So that's the Cebu doctors. And it also has a Cebu Doctors University Hospital on the back. So you can see who donated to have this pathway is the Visayan Electric Company in 2014. You can see their marks on the road. So this is now a parking space for Bose Coffee Capital guests only. That's quite impressive that they have bought or rent a prime lot just for their parking space. So you can see there's a lot of establishment closed. Pastry shop, pharmacy, all closed. And today is Monday, so you cannot say that it's Sunday, non-business day. It is a proper business day, but they're just closed. That's the Swar's Metal Arts. So you can see here the sad reality that a lot of businesses have closed. I have to turn off the camera because that saloon is blasting its music of a new music. You can see underneath the across is a big okay shop. So we'll wait for it to be green in the middle, so both sides the crossing will be stopping because as of the moment they're on, it's their turn. But we can still cross because nobody's there. No more cars. Do you see the odd vendors? Apple. Those are the children that asked the lawyer, what place is this? I said, you tell us. Because you seem to be living here. And then they surround you. So that's why I said, yeah, surround me here. I just don't want it on camera because they're children. This is the Philippine Red Cross. It's, of course, you know what's a Red Cross? It's a registered charity that does a lot of emergency rescues, emergency response. So we are now passing through the Cebu Rizal Library and Museum. And by the looks of it, seems closed. Alas. So I am now going into the Cebu City Public Library. I'm gonna have to look at the books that's related about old buildings of Cebu. So this is our Rizal Memorial Library and Museum. I have just been there, but you cannot borrow the books. You can just read there and photograph anything that you want from their old books because it's very fragile, some of them, for my continuation of my Cebu at War series. So I'm just getting some more information so I could sequence it better. Now I'm passing through our National Memorial Museum and Library, or the Cebuano Rizal Museum and Library, and I'm continuing on towards Fuente Osmeña. So this road that you're looking on the side is Osmeña Boulevard. So it connects straight on to Puente Osmeña and then straight on again to Jones Avenue. So can you notice that it's very busy here because this is where the area where NLRC is, the National Labor Commission is, where any employees who got a dispute with their employer will have to discuss and negotiate here, not from the Dole in Region 7. That was for, you know, those groups, labor groups, but individual employees can come here to the NLRC, which is on the top of this building. So those are the familiar sights, and here that we They're just living on the streets. And so when the cleaners come around, they just scamper about and they still come back to the same area. So like most of them are from far provinces and they want to stay here in the city without relatives to stay with. So they end up staying on the road. Now we are back to Fuente Osmeña. As you can see there, that's the Crown Residences, the Summit Circle. And now we continue our walk towards Jones Avenue, or still the Osmeña Boulevard extension.